Yes, this is Tyler Spomer. I am the Grants and Victim Compensation Manager for the North Dakota Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. This video will provide information and guidance regarding the application process for the fiscal year 2020 VOCA grant. Agencies will use a combined application to apply for funding for the VOCA Formula Grant and/or the VOCA Competitive Grant. These are two separate grants that can be applied for in one application. The performance period for these grants is October 1st, 2019 through September 30th, 2020. All agency and general eligibility requirements must be met before applicants may apply. The North Dakota DOCR will be awarding $3.9 million for the fiscal year 2020 VOCA Formula Grant and another $700,000 for the VOCA Competitive Grant. The Competitive Grant is not the traditional VOCA funding that victim service agencies rely on to fund their direct services. The Competitive Grant should be considered one-time funds for a special project that strengthens services to crime victims. Examples could include, but should not be limited to, equipment, training, technology needs, expansion of services, or implementation of evidence-based practices. The competitive grant will be scored based on applicant responses to a separate series of questions within the grant application. Detailed information about the grant application process will be found in the Notice of Funding Opportunity. All grant application documents will be posted to the DOCR webpage at docr.nd.gov. Applications will only be accepted if submitted through Cosmos. The subrecipient agreement, formerly known as the contract, has changed. This agreement was modeled after subrecipient agreements from other states. It also contains language necessary to comply with federal law. All applicants should review the agreement prior to applying. Attached to the subrecipient agreement will be several exhibits. Exhibit A is the Federal Award Identification. This document is required by federal law and identifies the funds you will be receiving as federal funds. Exhibit B is the certification regarding lobbying, debarment, suspension, and other responsibility matters, and drug-free workplace requirements. No federal funds can be used to pay for a lobbyist to influence a member of Congress. Page 1 and 2 is the certification document stating you will abide by those requirements. Should non-federal funds be used to pay for a lobbyist, it will be necessary for you to complete pages 3 and 4, specifically section 10A and B. Instructions for both documents are included with the exhibit. Exhibit C is the Single Audit Certification Letter. This is a requirement of the VOCA grant. Most agencies should know what the single audit requirement is. You may click on the link within the document for more information. Exhibit D is the certification form for compliance with the Equal Employment Opportunity Plan requirements. Some of the agencies that will be applying may be able to claim exemption under Section A because they have less than 50 employees or they are a nonprofit organization. If you do not meet those exemptions, follow the instructions included with the form. Exhibit E are the certified standard assurances for the VOCA grant. These are just a federal requirement that must be contained with the grant agreement. Exhibit F are the special conditions. This is another federal requirement of conditions that must be passed through two local subrecipients. The reporting schedule for the VOCA grant is within the Notice of Funding Opportunity. Reimbursement requests must be submitted quarterly at a minimum. The reports to PMT will be required 15 days after the end of the quarter. The annual closeout report and annually reported questions will be due 15 days after the end of the performance period. The subgrantee award report will be due 30 days from the date of the subaward. A risk assessment will be conducted to determine how frequently we need to monitor each subrecipient. Contained within the Notice of Funding Opportunity is a section on the risk assessment. This contains the questions that DOCR will be asking of each subrecipient. Based on those answers, a monitoring schedule will be determined. To test how many people view this video, I would appreciate it if you could email me the catchphrase in the quotation marks here with your agency name to the email address listed at the bottom of the screen. If there's any questions, feel free to email me at the docrgrants@nd.gov email address, or you may contact me via telephone at 701-328-6195. Thank you.